think you're probably going to lose a lot off this team. So going into next season, what's kind of your outlook?
Why'd you bring it up, Gary? The draft is going to be big. Monday. I might not have any hair left. You know what? It's about as clear as mud right now. But you know what? For our program to keep doing good, we got to keep pumping out top 10 rounders. And we've had a lot of guys position themselves in some really neat stories. So, from a high school and junior college standpoint, who knows what'll happen with the draft with some of our guys. I think we've kind of done everything in our power up to this point to let them know how important they are. And, I think our track record so far, we'll see again on Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday, of development and how big that is to us. But we'll lose a lot of pieces, especially positionally. When you start going around the field, we had to replace this year our third baseman, our shortstop, our second baseman, our first baseman, our left fielder, our center fielder. And then, next year is going to be pretty close to having to do the same thing all over again. But this league's hard. Everybody's in that. Most teams are in that same situation. And if you're doing a good job developing your players, you're losing them to the draft and you're changing lives. And that's what I can look all of you in the eye and tell you that, man, we've changed lives this year. And that's important to me.
Nick, what would you tell a major league team that's considering taking Sean or Tristan in the first couple of rounds?
Oh, man, I can go on and on about both those guys. But let's break down Sean Jelly. That guy came back, was the reigning SEC Pitcher of the Year. No, I'll never know what that feels like, right? Projected first-round draft pick, the #1 sports agent in the world. Right? Oh, by the way, he's the president of our SAC committee. Oh, by the way, this is the same guy that won Mr. Wildcat, the most prestigious award that the athletic department can give. Right? It's such a big deal that Dr. Capilouto was there presenting him that at the Catspies. So, man, if there's and I don't think there is, but I don't think there's another 6'11" human being on this planet that can throw a fastball in the low to mid-90s, can command 4 pitches for a strike, can field his position, can lead a student, a SAC committee. Oh, by the way, this guy's different. He can command the ball. He is unbelievable. So I can't say enough good things. I just met with him, and you talk about setting a standard for pitches. Guys, I caught him. I'm going to tell you, I caught him. Okay? In the bullpen the other day, catching a bullpen, warming up a pitcher. What are you doing? Get out of there. You want to talk about selfless. This guy is as selfless as they come. And, man, our program's going to miss him. But it's been really neat to think about how far he's grown and where he's going to be. And Tristan Pompey, that guy is gifted. You want to talk about, man, a competitive guy, much like Sean. You want to talk about a guy that, man, there's not a thing on the baseball field that he hasn't been able to accomplish. When you think about, man, you need him to hit a ball at the ballpark, he can do that. You need him to make a great defensive play, he can do that. You need him to throw a runner out, he can do that. You need him to steal a base, he can do that. You need him to get a big hit when it matters, he can do that. He is really talented. Oh, by the way, he can do it from the left side of the plate and the right side of the plate. You know what I mean? You understand a guy that knows the strike zone. He can do so many things. And it'll be a happy day for him, for Sean, and a bunch of the other guys when they get drafted. And you know what? I'm in the business of changing lives, and I think if you ask those guys, has this coaching staff changed your life? I think they'll tell you yes.
Nick, you set expectations at the beginning of the year so high.
Yes.
And which makes the results this year that much more disappointing. Do you have any regrets at all? I think I know the answer to this question, but do you have any regrets at all at setting the bar so high at the beginning of the year?
You know what, John? If those are expectations for our program, I want to win a national championship bad, and I believe I can do that here. I believe we can do that here. And you know what? I had one of the national media guys last night. We were talking on the phone, and he just said, Nick, it's a shame. Had you got in, I think you guys are a legitimate contender for Omaha when you have everybody back, But that hurt. But, yeah, I felt like this team could win a national championship, and for whatever reason, we're not going to get that chance, and it's our own fault. Yeah, but I don't regret expectations. Our internal expectations will always be higher than anyone's we've ever set outside the program. But we've done some really neat things. The Big Blue Nation, get this, we've set 8 attendance records this year, right? There's some really neat things happening in our program. Our top 10 attendance records were all set in the last 2 years. People are excited about baseball, and they should be. And, obviously, it's not the year that we wanted, but there's a lot to be excited about. And there was a lot that was accomplished, as I mentioned, yeah.
I heard you on an interview earlier today, and you seemed really, really down. A lot of times after a loss, I can't tell whether we won or lost. But you look a little bit better here today in person. But first of all, are you okay? And secondly, what about this just makes it so difficult to
Yeah, I'm
recover from?
hurting. If you guys, I think you can tell. But I'm hurting. And what hurts is, look, we get to coach 18 to 23-year-olds for a living, right? And not just baseball. Like, we get to coach them about life. Like, I can look all of you in the eye and tell you that there's not a guy in our program that's not going to walk out of here after being with us this year that's not a better man. That's important to me. And when you're around a group of people that, man, since August, man, they've done tremendous things in the classroom. They've done tremendous things in the community. They've done some tremendous things on the baseball field. And you know what? Every team but one is going to finish a national champion. So you just don't know when that time is going to come. But, yeah, I'm hurt. That hurts when you got to look those guys in the eye. And I got to, man, I get emotional. And I cried like a baby to them because, man, the impact they've made on my life, on my wife's life, on my son's life, on our coach's life. I mean, we told them they are our family. We spend more time with them than we do our own family. So when you got to say goodbye, that's hard. And it'll always be hard for me because I care. And you know what? There's a bunch of guys in that locker room that care. And it will always be that way. As long as I'm the coach here, guys are going to care. And, man, but to hear some of them speak and the things they said, man, it's an amazing group of guys. Amazing. Yeah.
Nick, it's coaching carousel season now. Are you definitely going to be here next year?
I'm
to
being
join
right
us?
here. You want me right here this time tomorrow, next year, whenever? Yeah. I will be. I'll be the head coach. You better talk to Mitch Barnhart. Does he still want me? No, I will be the coach at Kentucky, yes.
You talked about the fans. How excited are you still thinking about driving by the new stadium and excited about getting the fans in there?
Yeah, it's going to be really neat, and it's amazing how far it's come. When you start thinking about, hey, the lockers are in the locker room now, the Watson, the things are massive. Golly, but it's an exciting time. And you know what? I think with each day and each passing day, it becomes more of a reality to me. And I think, these next couple of days, it'll become even more when I go back in there and walk through there and see the changes. And I haven't spent a ton of time in there because I've been doing everything I can with this team. But, yeah, that stadium's going to be unbelievable. Yeah.
Nick, your first two seasons had some similarities as a head coach, but in a lot of ways couldn't have been more different the way they unfolded. How does that affect you, and how does that help you grow as a head coach?
Well, I think anytime you go through, a peak or a valley, that's how you grow, right? I mean, it's easy to grow when things are going well, but I've always said you learn a lot about somebody by the way they act when things don't go their way. And I hope today you've seen a man that assumed responsibility. I haven't hopefully shared a ton of my opinion. I've just basically, stated things that I'm proud of and some facts about our team. And you know what? It's hard. It's hard. And you know what? I evaluate, just like last year, I'll evaluate every piece and every part of our program, and we just got to keep getting better. And, man, it would have been nice to go back to the postseason. First time ever. It's never happened, as you know. It would have been nice to be in the postseason and go on another run with a healthy team. But I'll learn from this just like we ask our players to learn, grow, and improve every day. I think you guys would say that. You know me for 2 years. That's what I'm committed to, learning, growing, and improving every day, and I'll do the same.